Joe, back at Twerton Park, pitch looking lovely, and another nice easy one to look forward to as well today.
Yeah, second part of the run of games, isn't it, that we talked about. So really pleased with last week. Apart from the result, I thought the performance was excellent. Deserved something out of the game, we didn't. But building on that, coming into this game, obviously, we know each other inside out, these two teams, the two managers do as well. I was chatting to Mark on Wednesday down at Havant, sat with him throughout the game. And he's become a good friend in football now. So it's good to have someone like that to talk about general things really around the non-league and around National League South. But we know what to expect. There'll be 3-5-2, that's for sure. There'll be loads of rotations, middle of the pitch, trying to create those overloads like they do, 4v3s. Wing backs who are really progressive and dynamic. But of course, we've got areas where we think we might be able to go and exploit them. We're at home, that's the difference. We want to be a bit more aggressive if we can. I think if you give Dorking an opportunity to build a rhythm, that becomes difficult. So we've worked on some stuff this week in training to try and stop that. And then impose ourselves on the game.
Important just to stop Dorking from much attacking threat. Yeah, they've scored in every single game since the opening game of the season, which I'm sure you'll be aware of.
Because they take gambles and they're so aggressive, they'll leave people high up the pitch. In attack, they'll get numbers up there as well. And the difference with that is if we can catch them in transition and try and be effective ourselves when we win the ball back. I think we're trying to be a bit better with our first pass. Once we get that first pass in, like we were second half at Maidstone, on winning it and secure that, and then go really aggressive ourselves. What we don't want it to is become a game of basketball. It easily can happen against Dorking. We saw it here in the playoff game. Really open game. Both teams going at it. But we want to have some control in it if we can as well, because we're at home, and the longer we stay in games, we tend to finish well. So we want to try and get that second half performance at Maidstone into the first half here at Twerton Park today.
Bit of team news, Ben Seymour wouldn't have recovered from his injury last week. How else is the squad looking?
Yeah, Ben's got some treatment again today down at Exeter, so I've told him to stay down there. It's important he gets himself fit. Hopeful for next week. I think he'd be dropping back into training Thursday. Obviously, we've got the game Tuesday over at Welton, so we're hopeful that he'll be fit for the Dartford game. Dave Sims-Burgess still isn't fit, had an MRI scan, so no bone damage, but there is some ligament damage in there, so we're waiting on him. Eddie Jones, bit of a fright on Thursday night, usual end of the week stuff for me at the moment. This is how our luck's going. He blocked a shot and his ankle turned. It was the same ankle. I think it was more of a shock. He thought he'd be struggling, but he's in today and he's okay. He's sit on the bench with Omar and Tom Richards. Dylan Cadgey's been called back by Bristol City. They've only got 15 fit first team players, so there's just a danger sometimes with this that they've got to call him back. He's trained with them yesterday. He was poorly the week before, but he's in around it. And Callum Wood is still away injured, but it's a different injury. Unfortunately, his groin. He came back, played 30 minutes in a behind closed doors game at Bristol City and turned his ankle. So we are having that seems to have that run of luck at the moment with injuries. It is what it is. We just got to get on with it, and we've got a strong enough team. As I always say, we've got a strong enough team here to come and get a result.
Away from the game slightly, we very sadly lost George Bolt recently, a young lad who I know you visited lots in hospital, and we're going to have a minute's applause for him. His family are in attendance today. Yeah, Phil and Jane, his mum and dad, are here today. They're here on someone's birthday, actually. So yeah, I went to the funeral last Friday. It was a lovely service delivered by James Morton's dad, Hayden, someone, a friend of the club as well. James will be here as well. He was his cousin and Hayden's his uncle. Yeah, and I got to know George over the course of time, really, before COVID. He came and watched a game and I got really friendly with him. Went to see him in the Children's Hospital initially, and then obviously visited the family home throughout his illness. I'm really sad at 16 years of age to pass away. It's such a short life. But he's an inspiration. He really was. He was really positive. He always met me with a smile. Every time I turned up, he met me with a smile, and I think that took a lot of energy as well to do that. So, yeah, a wonderful human being that's obviously been taken way too early. So it's important that I felt as if we should do something here today to celebrate his young life, and a minute's applause is probably the best way to do it, which I know the club and our supporters will respect fully. I've already told Mark at Dorking. So looking forward to catching up with his mum and dad, and yeah, it's an important thing we do here today. Thank you for that, Jerry, and best of luck for this afternoon.
Cheers. Thanks, Mark.